Let me start here, Coach. What do you like about your team this year? It seems to be always the first question I ask coming into the season. I know you guys, we're probably a month officially into the season, but I mean, we know better than that. You guys are watching these guys all year round.
For sure. Well, we're really excited about the young guys that we have here. Obviously, this is our second year of having a program at all, so we don't really have a lot of like upperclassmen leadership, right? So we're really excited about how our younger guys are kind of taking that responsibility on and starting to build the culture that we are really excited about for the future generations of Tiger wrestlers.
Absolutely. What have been the challenges? I mean, you alluded to it, you guys still very much a brand new program. What have been the challenges so far that you guys have faced? And I mean, what's worked, what hasn't? I mean, it's always interesting to me to hear about programs being built from the ground up.
Sure. Well, obviously the wrestling is the fun part. Getting the culture going is kind of the thing, right? We don't, I got to coach with some great guys at Penn State, and my coaches have all wrestled for the Hawkeyes. So we came from some programs that had some built-in tradition where some of the older wrestlers, the younger guys would come in and know exactly what was to be expected of them, because the older guys would just show them the ropes. And so we're kind of like, we're tying those ropes up right now. You know what I mean? We don't even have the ropes up. So we gotta tie the ropes up. And so implementing that and then getting them to kind of buy into, the overall, messages of the program are that's always going to be the challenge, right? Getting a bunch of young kids who don't really know each other to kind of buy into that family atmosphere or that program mindset, what you're trying to sell them. You do it through recruiting, but then when they get to campus, things kind of change a little bit. And fortunately, we got a bunch of good kids, and it's ups and downs, but just getting everybody on the same page, and we're kind of locking in on that right now, coming into competition. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. What's that been like to have? I mean, it seems like that's like the perfect mesh of minds, right? You've got Penn State, who more recently has been extremely dominant. You got some guys from Iowa who historically one of the better programs when it comes to Division I wrestling. Like how have you guys been kind of mixing and matching the ideas from both to kind of help build the culture in your program?
Well, that's actually the exact kind of plan we had, right? Was to kind of take the good. So I went over from Iowa State with Kale and them to Penn State. So I was there during the very beginning of it when David and Ed were doing their thing, and Quentin Wright and Frank Malnier and them guys. So getting guys like Cash Wilkie and Jake Cadle and Steve Holloway in here to bring that Iowa mindset. And so ideally, we blend those styles together, right? And for our guys, especially getting to wrestle with Cash and Steve and Jake, that's awesome. And then kind of seeing how I do things and how we did things out east, and then how they do things here. So we have different looks of things. So we get to kind of reach a broader spectrum of athlete, where we're not just having one or two ways to do things. We actually have multiple ways to get to finishes, to get to our attacks. And then and the blending of those two things, those two like program mindsets and styles, it's been pretty fun. There again, some things are this way and that way. So we talk things through, and we've had a really good communication over the last year. And so we're making progress, and we're excited to see the product, as it gets more and more mainstream for our team, right? Because they're still doing some of the stuff that they were doing, and blending the styles is new for them. It's new for us. So getting them into our style of wrestling, it's exciting to see it start to pan out.
Yeah. What's maybe the most important or the biggest lesson you took from maybe watching Kale when he makes that switch, trying to instill that pretty quickly at Penn State? I know I think you guys took that year to maybe redshirt a lot of guys, and then boom, they took off. But what was maybe the biggest thing you took away from watching him, make that switch and build it up there?
Yeah, no question about it. It was the how to approach every day. This is the hardest thing, right, for everybody. It's not really focusing on winning and losing, right? And that's hard because everybody wants to win. You're not going to go out here and do wrestling, which is the hardest thing on the planet, and then just not focus on trying to win. And they do, and we do, but really we're looking for that progress. They like to say the 1% at Penn State. They really focus on that, and we do that too, because we just want to control what we can control. And I haven't been around them guys consistently for a few years now, but but I know them, and I know the mindset and the talk is pretty clear. And so we try to implement some of that stuff here in our own way, and so just focusing on getting better and working on what we do in practice and the matches, kind of living in the moment, and enjoying what we're doing. But really working as hard as we can every single day we come in the room just to get better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your team this year, I mean, you mentioned it, tons of young guys. What do you like about this young group, though? I mean, it's always kind of exciting to get new faces in the room. Everybody's new, I guess, for your program this year.
Yeah.
Do you know what the starting 10 looks like? Who are you most excited to watch once you guys hit competition?
I think we're pretty set on our starters right now, but it's fluid. It's going to happen all year long. Injuries and stuff like that, especially with young kids. We don't really know when we're going to be able to rest them throughout the season and stuff. But we have some freshmen that are real exciting. Brent Ward is 149 pounder. That kid is a sick athlete, man. He's fast, he's strong, he's big. He hits the corner quick. He's good. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Ray Hernandez is coming in at 133 too. He's very athletic. He's going to be exciting. Our heavyweight Brendan Lunsford had a 1-point match with a kid from Co in the national, the NWCA Nationals for Division III last year, which is a really good match for him. And he kind of tweaked his shoulder in that match in the nationals. So I'm excited to see him wrestle. And then he's got a guy at heavyweight, Wyatt Nelson, who was a state placer in Arizona too, scrapping with him every single day. So, I'm excited to see everybody that we have out there competing, try and do what we want them to do, go push the pace, try and score points, get the next points, wrestle hard the whole time, kind of try and, dominate the tie-ups, stuff that we talk about in practice every single day.
Absolutely. I think I'm really curious about this point. There's a lot of Iowa kids, right? But there's also a lot of, I mean, you hit on it, Arizona, Texas, South Dakota, Louisiana. How do you recruit these kids from out of state? Like a lot of the Iowa kids are probably following what's going on in the new programs that pop up, but how do you recruit these out of state kids to come to Iowa, to a brand new program that that's gotta be hard, right? Like what's the recruiting pitch for kids like that?
So it's also a really small town, right? And some kids coming from Tucson, Arizona, or Dallas, Texas, it's different. But when you get on campus here and you get around Coach Jake and I, you get that feeling that something special is happening here, and we're really competitive. Jake Cato's my head assistant coach, and we we're doing things the right way. We're trying to make sure that every kid understands that we love wrestling. We want kids that are passionate about wrestling, but more importantly, we want people who are passionate about success in life, right? Because wrestling is just what we do. It's not who we are. We're going to put everything we got into our workouts and stuff like that, but most importantly, we want to use that to get people where they want to be in their lives so they can take what they learned through wrestling, enjoy the time we're here, trying to do the best we can do, and obviously the goal is to win national titles, but wherever that falls on the line right now, as long as we do our best every single day, we're going to be okay with that. And we're going to take that into our lives and not just become, productive members of society, but we're going to become, successful members, people that can be leaders, and that's pretty exciting for us.
Absolutely. I think one of the last questions I had for you, Coach, is, this still a very, very new squad. What do you hope? I get new program, right? A lot of these guys have wrestled forever, but what do you hope to see in terms of, overall progress, whether it's individual wrestling on the mat, overall program moving forward? Like, what do you hope to see between now and March?
Great question, man. I think for us, just getting better every single day, trying to push the pace, be as competitive as we can in every single match, no matter who we're wrestling. Again, with young kids, sometimes they kind of bracket watch, or they watch flow and they see who all these guys, these names, and we want to be able to compete with anybody we wrestle, regardless of what their name or their credentials are. So we're really looking to be competitive and wrestle and score points, and we're going to try and do special things. So I don't really, we're going to push the pace as much as we can, and we're going to wrestle in all positions and be aggressive and have fun doing it. So we'd like to try and win a national title this year and every single time we step on the mat. But as long as we're doing our best and getting better every day, we'll be happy with that.
I love it. I think, Coach, that was everything I needed from you, unless there was something else you wanted to add.
No, I really appreciate your time, man, with us, and trying to keep wrestling out there and stuff, man. You guys are doing a great job, and thank you very much.